Welcome back. Northstar here with another episode of my Citizen Sleeper Let's Play. Now, for those of you who haven't seen this game before, it is a game about, how shall I describe this? I guess the best way to put this is vulnerability, disability, and trust. Those seem to be the most important elements in the storytelling in this game. You're a sleeper. A man, machine, cybernetic intelligence? So someone who is uploaded into an artificial body that's been programmed to destroy itself over time if you're not don't obtain a special medicine produced only by the corporation that uploaded you into this body. It's essentially a form of techno-slavery. But it's a decent analogy, the vulnerability and the way that operates for disability. In order to survive this, you have to trust those around you. It's the only way to work with them, to trust them, to get help from them. If you want to make it off Erlin's eye where you start off, or you want to build a life there, you have to work with others. And there are commentaries on everything that's wrong with capitalism, especially neoliberal type of capitalism, with large corporations, with selfish behavior and gunning only for yourself, from the experiences of the mercenary who ends up having to kill a former comrade and becomes disillusioned and disarms her gunship, to the large corporation that's secretly spying on gang enforcers, the same corporation that makes your stabilizer that you need to survive, to the corporal government unholy hybrid that runs the station, that has an old, best I can describe him as an old Nazi helping to run the station in the upper ranks that you're trying to root out. There's a lot of social commentary here. Something that I guess you could say I'm fluent in. I have to be. Personally, I'm disabled. I'm disabled with long COVID. That leaves me vulnerable. And the only way that I can hope to survive is the help of others, trusting and working with others, government, which brings me to, I suppose, my latest struggles. Trying to apply for government assistance programs, disability, social security income, a state program. State program requires me to apply for the social security income, which I know I don't qualify for because my assets are too much. And they have a ridiculous asset limit of $1,000, so almost no one qualifies for this, really. But they require me to apply for it anyways, even though they don't they don't themselves have that asset limit, as far as I can tell. But it also feeds in with the SSDI thing where there's work credits, and I discovered, of course, they're missing some of my employment. I should qualify for the program because they do things by calendar year, not by year, but then they don't think I do because they're missing whole years that I worked. I have earning statements. I'm looking like, okay, I earned $1,000 this month in a stipend as TA, $1,000 this month, $1,000 this month, and I earned this much a month as an academic hourly. The next year, the numbers don't add up. They have $0 for when I was a TA. They have maybe one of the 4 jobs I worked in 1 year when I was working multiple jobs at once. So start off 2 at once, but then one of those was only temporary, so it ended. Then I picked up another temporary job at a restaurant, but then the restaurant screwed me over. It was paying me under a table. After I left that, I picked up a different one at a coffee shop. I had to deal with a really abusive supervisor type person. That didn't work out, so I just went back to the original one full time. But the jobs I worked grading tests, actually, as temporary thing that paid rather well, and quite nothing under the table about that. Very reputable company. They're missing apparently all that income, and all the income I made is in a restaurant and at the coffee shop and TAing and academic hourly. Like, they have maybe half the jobs I've ever worked. And I think I've worked a dozen jobs in my life. It comes partly from moving around state to state, partly from going back to school, which interrupts things. Trying very hard to make it to become physicians and moving from non-clinical to clinical employment as soon as they had the opportunity, so I could get clinical hours. Moving states to where there was scientific and clinical work available. Going back to school, there's a few things, but I piece things together, do what I can, work very hard, and then I find, the government doesn't have a lot of that, and it's going to try and screw me, say I'm not qualified for a program I am qualified for just because they're missing earnings, and you can't correct earnings statements after more than 3 years. Well, who's going to know they have inaccurate info from 10 years ago? Or even, what 24-year-old is going to look at the records when they were 21 or 22, and 24 or 25, you're not, that's about when things would expire. You're not looking at earning statements for Social Security from when you were 21 to see if it's accurate. So that's bullshit. And 22 actually is the first time they're missing stuff. Because I did a research stipend job when I was 21, that they have all the earnings for that, but then they're somehow missing like most of my subsequent jobs after that. If you have a system that's designed to screw those who are vulnerable, as the system is, well, it creates desperation, which is probably what's wanted by neoliberal capitalism. Desperate people will work for less. Desperate people will do whatever they have to survive. I think if you've been following this Let's Play, you've seen it. The sleeper here starts off doing any work that's thrown his way. He has to. It's the only way to survive. It's a lousy state of affairs. That, actually, I'll throw a 6 into this. But working in Sidereal, it's some money, but it's also to hopefully give Lem the ticket, Lem and Mina, so they can get off the station. Excuse me. Yeah. There we go. Cooking some mushrooms up so my character doesn't starve. Working this Sidereal hole. 3 becomes a 5, thanks to all my skill. Camaraderie, care, focus, progress. Shifts like this give you energy, especially in look at the Sidereal hole. Growing impossibly. Doesn't give you the energy as an energy stat, but whatever. What was I doing? Oh yeah, it's been a bit since I played this game. Been busy applying these programs, stressing over things. Oh, there were mushroom harvests today. I guess I should have not spent those dye in the sterile. Oof. Well, I'll get it tomorrow. A mistake can be costly, but I'm gonna have to. Actually, maybe I should use stabilizer this time. It'll just recognize that it's lined up. This is about the lowest condition I would want to go. You feel the stabilizer fizzling inside you, your artificial muscles cramping in sequence, and end the cycle. The commune is, I think, one of the beautiful things is it's a society where everyone eats. No one ever starves the commune. Same can't be said of capitalism. Alright. Harvest mushrooms. Trying to get the black caps. Club heads. Those can be used to produce stabilizer. Hate using a 3 on this, but I gotta replant here. So I hate using a 3, but otherwise I'll lose time for this to regrow. I already lost a day last time. The grow time on this was, 4 days. I'll have to make sure to get some spores before that's over. Anyhow, the labs are where I can turn club heads, 2 of them, into stabilizer. A couple of club head caps we can extract stabilizer. Rico chats to you about recent events while she prepares the stabilizer. You always enjoy these visits. Able to produce it from mushrooms because there's like a weird sentient AI biological hybrid here on the Greenway. They can produce the stabilizer that the corporation denies your character as a form of slavery so that you can't run away like my character ended up doing. You start off, before the story begins, working in mines as a literal slave. But that's technically not considered slavery in the game, in their legal environment, because you're not considered a person as one of these sleepers. Because even though you're not really an AI, you're a person uploaded into a robotic mind, so you're an intelligence, but you're not really artificial, more of a copy of a natural one. But nonetheless, because of that, let's see, I remember that was kind of dangerous to do that way. Because that, you can be enslaved, and it's not treated as slavery. Keto wants it all out. Weapons, countermeasures, torpedoes. It'd be a risky job if you know Amber so well. Working Amber again is a joy. You know every inch of this hole. After all, you fitted half of it. I do like the music in this game. It's quite charming. Just trying to remember what were efficient uses of times in terms of earning. Can't do the repair bay because the ambergris is there, so none of those small component jobs. There's the casters done with you. There's the freight hub for 16 cryo as a freight operator interface action. Or the Bontion bar shifting gauge action. 15 cryo. There's emphasis stall. 12 for meal. Thing is, on a low roll, the bar shift pays, it's more reliable than the shipping. Although if you get the unique engage thing, it's not quite as good as getting the interface thing. And each energy is effectively worth 4 cryo. Though actually, if you're already at 0, you only need 1 to go another day. You stand on the edge of starvation, essentially. Your character doesn't need to eat as much. And then the bar is a little better, because 2 days of food is 12 cryo. So 6 for a day, and you can get enough to keep going another day at the bar. Whereas you can only get 5 on your face action, so yeah. Of course, you can sell data at the Havnage offices. They'll pay you, I forget what they'll pay you for Yadigan data and such. Might as well call that. Yep, 10 cryo per data, and you can get 2 on each, so yeah, I would think data mining is the most lucrative thing you can do. Actually. The Timber Tea House. Havnage data will get you 10 cryo. The tea houses enforce their signals for a hacker to come out with upload. Their eyes widen as the data streams onto their system. If you're really trying to get a lot of money, the Tava room is lucrative. That's right, if you can do a high roll on it. So I guess in terms of efficient survival, not that that matters. I've got tons of money built up at this point. And I do get probably enough to eat just as a byproduct of growing the mushrooms I need for stabilizer. Buy scrap when it's available. Scrounge for it in the waste when not. I don't know, there's a lot of ways to survive in this game. At this point, it's just role-playing, probably more anything. Just like feeding the stray has no benefit, but in the early game, you have to struggle to survive. At this point, it's how do you want to play? Alright. Well. Let's throw in a 6 and finish with the Sidereal hull. Or no, a 4, because engineering. This would be as good as a 6. Continue. Your crew slowly filters out of the shipyard locker room, the bubbling chatter reducing with each group that leaves. There is excitement in the air. Have Nas just made an announcement. The assembly teams are done. Sat on the locker room bench, you can feel the Sidereal out there, its hulking mass now intimately familiar to you. Over the past cycles, you've watched it grow, be assembled. It's a colony ship, if you don't remember. You have walked through its veins and welded its bones. Now it is ready for the final stage. It will go testing now, then enter a final process of sealing and resealing, checking and rechecking before it is deemed suitable for its generational trip. But for now, your work is done. You can't help but feel proud. A cough interrupts your thoughts. It's Lem, changing out of his work gear. Mina nowhere to be seen. He smiles. She'll be ready soon. Where's Mina? You two are fast friends, huh? She's being watched at home. Now I'm on the work team, I can afford a bit more help. He corrects himself. Was on the work team. I mean, we are all out of a job now. He quickly adds, not that I'm complaining. Not that I'm complaining. Not I'm. Lem comes to sit beside you on the bench. She's got to be in her best shape when she carries you, Mina and me out of here. So confident? Lem smiles apologetically. Why not? I figure I'm due a lucky turn by now. He rubs his hands nervously. No use in wondering what if, until the draw anyway, and there's a few cycles till then. Lem is right, but the odds seem unlikely anyway. How many are working the shipyard? Hundreds? 1,000? You've certainly seen more faces than you can count pass through. And are the COS Foundation even going to keep their promise? One person, 1,000s, and they might not even. Unfortunately. Out here, on the eye, you get the sense that no one will hold them to it. Why else would they be building the Sidereal and a surrogate system? As you think, Lem watches you with a worried look. I'd like to know a little more about COS. The Foundation? Tell me about COS. The Foundation? He thinks. I'm not sure I know much more than you. I hear they have a planet in mind for the Sidereal. Something temperate and habitable. I think they're run by some rich folk from the Corps. People interested in doing things different. Different how? Lem looks into space. Well, I guess they don't like the way the Corps runs things. All these surrogate systems, like this one, feeding resources into their silos. It's a pyramid of sorts, and we are the bottom layer. I guess COS wants to change that. I'd rather keep my mind on the prize, so to speak. I don't care much what they are for or against, as long as they can help us get out of here. He sighs. You ever been a thunderstorm sleeper? Real big one? I don't think my sleeper would remember. But you should care if you're going to go live on that world if you get the ticket. I don't remember. Lem shoots a worried look for a moment. It's something else, he smiles. The sound, the smell, the rain hammering down. The whole sky stretched out and bruised, roaring and huge. The place I was born, New Pembroke, a dry old rock in a Conway season, had 2 seasons. In a Conway system had 2 seasons. One of them was dry as bone, dusty, ugly. The other was one long storm, a side effect of the terraforming efforts, they said. Rain used to rattle off the roofs like bullets. It washed the dust away, turned the streets to rivers. It'd sing us to sleep and wake us in the morning. We'd wait half a year just to see it again. The best day was the one where the first drops fell. He sniffs. Some days I woke up swearing I can hear it again. I was thinking, Mina has never seen a storm, never even felt rain. She has grown up here, the Sidereal Horizon, always in the dark. I want to change that for her. You will? Of course, almost there. Lem stands stretching. Best get back to the little one anyway. With the shift's done, I reckon she'll be happy to have me home for a few cycles. He shoulders his gear. See you in a few for the draw? Good luck. Don't need it, he grins. Lem leaves, making you the last person in the cavernous locker room. As you sit, you think about rain, and a little hope creeps in. Is it possible? Could the Sidereal really take you to a planet? A place with weather? With skies? With life? I mean, there's life in the Greenway. You get up quickly, before you can think about it anymore. It's too soon for hope. Too dangerous. There's work to be done. Moving the horizon. Sealists are apparently going to start moving the Sidereal Horizon to the hub soon. Six cycles on that. Oh. I was thinking putting it off that it would be something instantly happen, but and the Sidereal draw at the offices in 3 cycles. Avnaj has said it'll be a few cycles until the winners of the draw announced. You have to come back then. You know, it's funny that the most lucrative things are in this game are typically things that don't produce any real economic value. Playing the exchange early on, which can get you 19 cryo, which is great, and then later playing Tava, 24. If you get high rolls, if you're doing well already and you're likely to have the high rolls, success begets success, and if you're struggling to survive, you probably don't have the rolls to spare, and there's certain things in the game that you have to take care of, like dealing with the bounty hunter. And then the second bounty hunter. If you don't take care of those, well, probably end up dead. Game over. Working at the bar pays less. Working at the freight pays even less still. Working at the farming stacks. Or hauling freight off the ships less still. It's like the more removed from producing actual value something is, the more it pays, and vice versa. Whatever. No, my character's starving. I realized just playing Tava will more than buy a meal, so less. This is an intuit action, okay. Some of the spores. Intuit. 2 grove spores. A 4. I think they can give me 1 or 2. Yep, 2. I got 1, 3. Roll those. Another 6 and a 2. Fun. Got enough spores. I don't have to worry about missing that replanting. Should play some Tava. Tava room in the Timber House. Some of the best players. You hit a stride of good games, amassing a solid stack of chits. In your final game, it is decisive defeat. The other player applauds. Seems more lucrative than data mining, which is quite lucrative. The problem with working at the bar when you're out of energy is if you roll low and lose energy, you lose condition. So actually, it's probably pays less than freight when you incorporate that into your probabilities, unless you're using very high rolls. I mean, Minji. Oh, this is engage action. Express delivery. But I was thinking that new manufacturing is even probably safer in some ways. Yeah. Word fungus. Your mouth stings as your sensorium sends warning signals over and over. This is the good stuff. I could have just cooked up some Gorol caps, though. But emphasis. He's a skilled chef and a friend. Speaking of feeding the stray, some crackers for the stray. The stray crunches up the crackers as you watch. Sometimes they'll let you stroke them, sometimes not. So we'll be able to buy some more scrap. Nothing better to do than use hurdles here. No, actually I do need to accumulate more scrap. Just to be sure I know the Conway thing, how long that'll take. It's probably safer to get scrap than not, though, in the waste. A scrap component. Out here on the edge of the habitable parts of the eye, everything is scrap. The trick is find components that are still usable, staying safe. In an old docking bay, you find a locker corroded shut. You crack it open, the components inside are in perfect condition. Stop piling scrap for what comes next. My highest rolls. I've got 3s and 4s. What things do I have +2 on again? Interface, engineering. Just those two. I could do a shift as a freight operator. 16 cryo. Or Intuit stuff. Oh, that's the Intuit stuff is like toggle in the exchange. It's the most lucrative if you have high rolls. I don't know, I should probably sell some of this data. Maybe I might lose the ability to do that later. All of it in case there's some other use for it, but let's say I couldn't possibly need more than 8. Certain office advertisers have not shown looking for information on getting active and I. They'll pay. Acquisitions officer eyes you suspiciously down the data to her terminal. This is more than she was expecting. Similarly, I've knowledge data to the Yadigan. I'll reduce that to 7. I think it's a little more likely Conway could interact with top knowledge data than the Yadigan. I mean, I guess I should have that way around. So more of the Yadigan data off. Anyways, the ambergris. Yeah, I should put some rolls into this. Working on the ambergris again is a joy. You know every inch of the hole. After all, you fitted half of it. You know what? Roll that 3. So 1. Let's see if I can find another knowledge agent to extract. Boom. Get an extra 5 cryo. 20 worth of data. Alright. Time to do a little self-repair. End the cycle. Alright. The drawing is tomorrow. Next cycle. As is this mushroom harvest. Plant that. And I guess I'll want some more, so. Collect some spores. Just got 1. These are all 2s and 3s. Oh, perfect. 5. There we go. Plenty of spores for tomorrow. So by the dorms, do a little more self-repair work. Working on your own body is an unsung but necessary act. You can feel new components under your skin. Not ones and twos. So, more data extraction. Interface that can use any as ones, twos, or as threes to extract. And I'll make some mushrooms. Where is it? Here at the Bonteon. Cook roll caps. The mushrooms release their liquid as they cook, making for a fragrant and delicious dish. And time to find out tomorrow. What's up with the drawing? Lem and Mina. The crowds have already gathered by the time you get to the shipyard, and you recognize faces among them, people you have worked alongside on the Sidereal. The intervening cycles have turned their excitement to anxiety, and a few of them smile at you. Instead, the nervous energy of the crowd fills the space, creating a feedback loop of growing tension. You pick out Lem and Mina and work your way over to them, pushing through the crowd. He silently raises his eyebrows at you, Lem that is, his anxiety obvious, but Mina flashes you a huge smile, unaware of the tension. "Robot!" she shouts, reaching out to you. Hugger. She gratefully accepts your hug, leaning against her chest, and Lem smiles, seemingly glad to share the weight of Mina for a moment. "Quite the turnout, huh?" Lem glances around, pulling Mina close. "I don't think patience is one of this crowd's strengths." The sound of an argument towards the back catches your and Lem's attention. He's putting it lightly. This place seems set to explode. This isn't good. Lem doesn't dare answer, but the look in his eyes suggests he agrees. "This is Astor Einhart of the Sealess Foundation." The announcement echoes from the speakers at the shipyard entrance and shouts a quiet, rapidly fall. "I'm sorry I can't be there to meet you all, and thank you on behalf of Sindre Sealess for the work you've done on the Sidereal Horizon." Most of the crowd strains to see Astor's face, but the small display shows only a ghostly white figure, smudged and unclear. "Sindre wanted me to pass on our personal thanks for your commitment to and belief in the Sealess Foundation's mission. We chose the Eye for this project because we knew that we would find like-minded individuals here, especially among the ranks of the venerable Have-Naj Association." They're not good guys exactly, Have-Naj these days. "Unlike most of the Corps, we neither believe Erlin's, at least they're infested with some people, aren't bad. Their ideals were originally noble." There's a little bit of a commentary. It's like, what's this thing I find, honestly, is commentary on the Soviet Union and how it lost its idealism on Have-Naj. They were founded as kind of a socialistic workers' state, as far as I can tell. Though technically a corporation, and they became more corporate again over time. Unlike most of the Corps, we neither believe Erlin's Eye to be a threat or a rogue state. Rogue state, okay, there's definite commentary on socialism. But instead, an embryo for the formation of a new, decentralized social structure. One where each citizen might be the master of their own destiny. A ripple of impatience runs through the crowd. They didn't come here for a sermon. You are all pioneers, just like those core citizens who the Sidereal Horizon will carry, in cryosleep, to the planet that will become the Foundation's first frontier world. Silas 1. At the mention of the destination world, excited conversations break out among the workers. There, our citizens will be able to create their own innovative, bottom-up economic order, aligned with the principles set down by Sendre Silas herself. Freedom? For who? Too often freedom means freedom for the privileged few. Resilience and self-sustenance. This is all thanks to your tireless efforts in the Have-Knowledge Yards. As a reward for those efforts, you may know that we are offering a select group the opportunity to join the caretakers of this vision. The staff of the Sidereal Horizon, who will maintain the vessel during its multi-decade transit through interstellar space. Lem turns to you with eyes bright. This is it. This draw has been performed at random by the central AIs of the Foundation, and is final and binding. Please note, only licensed contractors of the Foundation are eligible for this draw. I know you have all been eagerly awaiting this day, and without further delay, I will now read the Silas identification numbers of those chosen for this great honor. A murmur runs through the crowd. Silas identification numbers? Licensed contractors? You've never even heard the term mentioned. Is this something you were supposed to be assigned? This is how they cheat you. He glanced at Lem, but his eyes are fixed forward, wide and shimmering. All around you, people are speaking in hushed tones, like a rising wave. Esther starts reading out sequences of numbers and letters, and panic begins to set in. No one seems to know what is happening. Somewhere near the front of the crowd, someone shouts in celebration. And everyone pushes forward. Lem? You turn to see Lem still staring forward. Mina's scared now as the shouts start. Daddy? Someone throws something at the entrance, and it rattles against the shipyard doors. You see, for the first time, Have-Knowledge security stood on either side, scared, arguing between themselves. You feel the anger rising in the crowd. Lem, let's go. This is getting very, very dangerous. He doesn't move. They might call out names. I can't. Mina tugs at his dog tags. It's not happening. Lem blinks rapidly and then turns to you. He opens and closes his mouth and looks down at Mina. He sees the fear in her eyes and understands. It's time to go. You lead Lem and Mina out, shoving people aside. As you do, you hear the sound of scuffles emerging at the front of the crowd, of metal canisters bouncing off the shipyard walls. You keep your head down and walk away, the sound of Asta reading off the ciphers, encoding, echoing above the chaos like some strange mantra. When you turn to Lem, there are tear tracks running down his cheeks, and Mem is sniffling into his jacket. You feel the sadness rising in you, too. They screwed you. Screwed all of you. You're never even on the list. The feeling is as unpleasant as it is familiar. Reminds me of worked all these jobs, and they weren't even contributing they weren't even getting recorded in my Social Security. They saw the taxes, so actually I was getting taxed the money, and then somehow, despite the withholding and the taxes, not even getting the benefits that. And then when I got screwed by a plague that was mishandled, COVID, long COVID, not even being able to get the support that was supposed to be due, that was supposed to have earned. Feeling of being screwed out of things, or people trying to. We'll see if I can correct at least what's going on in my own life. It is familiar. I've been screwed out of many other things in my life too. You stare ahead into the tunnel as the security sirens sound out, a signal for the coming violence. Drive failed? Failed? The draw didn't go your way. In fact, you never had a chance. It doesn't even give you a point. Would, if you kept pushing, would that have helped? They're moving the Sidereal to the hub in the center soon. Should I have kept pushing? Just worry that we get the character killed. I'm perfectly able to survive here. Building life here. In fact, if I wanted to leave, I could do it with the ambergris. To have their 4s. Should do an engineering interface task for that. Except interface is low rolls. Finish the ambergris today. Might be a unique option if try and get Lem and Mina on it. I don't want to finish it yet. Ah, Lem and Mina's unit. There's no in the door of the unit. Sleeper. Gone to find work. Lem. 3 cycles. I can check back with them. Okay. That's into it. Feel even less bad about extracting data from Havnaj now after what they pulled or helped pull. I suspect they'll pull that. Thinking. got a ton of cryo. Right now I'm pretty sure the freight hub is the best thing to be doing. Put the 4s in, get 6s. Reflect their schedules, revising the timetable sequence to squeeze in. Revising timetable to squeeze in extra shipments. I may payout reflects our efforts. Freight operator. Got a massive 1094 cryo now. Oh shoot, did I forget to harvest the mushrooms again? I know I have goldfish brain with my long COVID, but darn it, I did. Of course, I didn't have any rolls I really liked using on it. So I'll end cycle here. It's near the mushrooms and harvest tomorrow. Suppose I'll do a little self-repair at the beginning of the day instead of the end. Take is valuable, but club hits are even more. More club heads, more stabilizer. Some rolls, they're good for data extraction. If I re-roll them, I get ones that are better for even more valuable stuff. Ooh, okay, no. Nothing I'd want to play toggle with. We can use a 3 on data extraction. Just this random 4. Yeah, let's use these shipman fragments. Grab a couple more shipmans. I don't think on a 4 you can get a negative roll bar. 15 cryo. There was a chance I get energy from. Oh yeah, I've never explored any of these Matsutakes. Should do that at least once. 80 cryo each, but Paz hands you the chits, cheerful as always, and you wonder what kind of margin she's making this deal. Paz knows a spacer will take Matsutake out to the starboard belt, but only in bulk, 80 cryo for 3 batches. Pay a little visit here to Memphis, my friend. Oh yeah, before I forget, replant the mushrooms. days till whatever this is going on with the Sidereal Horizon. Which is also Lem and Mina. Refresh, if you will. I'll do Sealess. Or games. Alright. Now let's see what's going on with Lem and Mina. So I've been waiting for. I'll do a quick bite to eat before I engage with that. In case there's something that would reduce energy so it doesn't reduce my condition. There's no answer when you buzz Lem's unit, but the door is open. You push the door and find Mina, sitting in the middle of the floor, playing with Bun Bun. Hi, Mina. Hi, robot, says Mina sullenly, waving Bun Bun's paw without looking up. How are you? Bun Bun is sad, says Mina, nodding the toy's head in agreement. Like Daddy. You look around the unit. It is a mess. Dishes and glasses on the side. Some of Mina's clothes piled up in a corner. Mina is sitting by her bag, which is spilled out across the floor. Her drawing slate cracked and dark. Tidy up, I guess. You start with the kitchen units, piling up the dishes in the auto wash and wiping them down. You pile the clothes up next, folding them neatly. Mina watches you quietly as she plays, curious but silent. You just started to look at fixing her cracked slate when Lem enters. Sleeper, what are you? He pauses and looks from you to Mina and back again. Never mind, he says. Never mind. He drops a bag by the door and slumps onto the couch. Everything okay? Lem lets out a weak laugh. You forgot the past few cycles now, too? Wish I was so lucky. He looks away at the open door. Look, now is not a good time. Want to help? Help? Unless you have a Sidereal ticket or two on you, I don't think there's much you can do here. He pinches the bridge of his nose. You understand they never even put us on the list, right? I've been all around the rim looking for work, and I've run into more than a few from the crews. It turns out only long-time have-knowledge members were issued these sealess ID numbers. They never planned to consider us. Have-knowledge says they didn't know what was what. They were going to use... Have-knowledge says they didn't know that was what was... what they were going to use to make the draw, and who knows, maybe Silas pulled the wool over their eyes. But does it matter? All those hours in the yards for a hand-to-mouth wage and nothing else. He slams his hand down on the sofa. That can't be it. Well, it is. He looks at the open door again. They're moving the Sidereal up the hub now. Up the hub now, you know, he says without meeting your eye. That's where I'll depart from. They're bringing a ship with all their cryosleep pioneers, air quote, and transferring them up there, in microgravity, before loading the crew. Could steal a ticket or sneak aboard? Steal a ticket? Lem laughs. There's no tickets. I was joking before. Just those ID numbers. Code to someone's identity. No stealing that. He looks over at Mina. Look, we'll be fine. We always have been. I just need a little time, he says. We had our hearts set on that trip is all. I mean, if they're doing this to the people, they probably wouldn't treat the crew or, gosh, stowaways well on the other side. Mina comes over and climbs onto his lap. He smiles. What if I got you on board? I missed you these past few cycles. I missed that optimism. Lem strokes Mina's hair. Look, you want to go up to the hub and ask around? Be my guest. I can't get up there with Mina down here, and I'm sure the Sidereal will bring in a crowd. But be careful. This kind of thing always attracts scammers and thieves. You find any way aboard, you take it. You need help to get there? Ask me. But for now, me and Mina here are sticking to the eye. She looks up at him and smiles. I'll find a way for us all. I'm thinking of trying to give him the ambergris if I wish he would offer that. Lem smiles, but doesn't say anything. You start to leave, and Mina grabs her hand, eager to give you one more smile. Then you are out, back in the walkways of the low end, already thinking plans to make this right. Be much better on the ambergris. The Sidereal dock. Scout the dock. Sidereal is being loaded and prepped. Among all the commotion, is it possible to find a way on board? You hope against hope. A way on board. There's a chink in the Sidereal's vast armor. It's a risky Intuit action. I've got lots of high rolls for it, though. You watch the loading crews going back and forth, knowing their past entryways. Could this work? Quite the achievement, isn't she? Sandra Silas must be proud. You recognize the resonating voice of Castor immediately, and turn to see him, hooded and tucked into the shadows near the viewing platform. Castor? I see you remember our game. Good. He looks around, but the platform is clear. I'm afraid you'll have to wait for a rematch. Microgravity makes Tava a little difficult. He smiles broadly. He's dressed differently here. Castor walks out to stand beside you on the platform. The telltale clunk of magnetic boots accompanies his slow crossing. He notices you looking at them. I don't much like it up here, he explains. I hear there was some trouble at the Have-Not shipyard when they announced the results of the crew lottery. They screwed us. I know. He sighs, meeting your eye. An ugly business. See, we're too used to the way things work in the core. Exploitation is the only logic they know. He gestures out the Sidereal. You know why they built this monstrosity in the eye? Money? Control. Certainly, there is no corporate oversight out here, but that's not all. He stares at the pristine yellow hull. Silas built it here, says Castor gravely, because they didn't want anyone to know it exists. He rubs his forehead. And secrecy is something I cannot abide. He turns to face you. There are people being loaded onto that ship as we speak. Sleeping people, locked in cryosleep, like the person that you were emulated from. There are hundreds of them, and Silas wants to send them out to a planet at the edge of the settled systems without anyone knowing where it is. But you, Sleeper, can do something about that. You're like me. You deal with data. You can read it right out of the air. With someone like you in that ship, secrecy isn't a problem. You can ping back whatever I need, wherever I need it, as long as you are on board. With you on the Sidereal, and with some minor modifications, he pauses, you can be my eyes and ears. I'll keep track of Silas' grand project through you. In short, says Castor, stretching, I can get you on board, Sleeper, but I'm going to need you to help me. Who are you? I am a concerned party. Someone who likes to know what is happening when it is happening, not afterwards. It's not just me. Yes, your friend Lem. That can be arranged. It is difficult, but not impossible. The condition is, of course, that you go too. Castor wanted to stay here. Castor clunks close to the window, watching the tugs wheel around the Sidereal. It's a simple offer, and the only one that will get you on that ship. Please consider it. He turns back, silhouette against the ship. But to make it happen, I need your assistance, as I said. There is a Silas Foundation ship docked in the now empty shipyard. I need the data from its servers. This will allow me to produce the IDs necessary for your transit. Castor looks over his glasses at you. Silas aren't stupid, though. Their ship is totally isolated from the station. You need to get on board if you want access to the Airworld servers. Once you have the data, meet me at your friend's unit so we can give him the good news. He smiles. I noticed his importance to you, and the little one. So cute. You don't extract the data before the Sidereal Horizon leaves the hub. Then we'll get the message. We have other options, but you're certainly my preferred one. Be sure, when you act, Sleeper, once you take the data from Silas, you'll set off a series of events that will likely be hard for you to entangle yourself from. Either way, I recommend you stop asking around up here. You're bringing a lot of attention to yourself. Castor glances around as if to emphasize his point. There are only a handful of cycles until the departure, Sleeper. Make your decision. With that, Castor marches back off the platform, the sound of his Madutes fading away, leaving you to contemplate the Sidereal Horizon and the part it may play in your future. I don't trust it? Eat cycles until it departs. Alright, I should finish the ambergris to see if this gives an opportunity to put Lem and Mina on board. I got a scrap I'm working on it too. Working the ambergris is a joy. Know every inch of this hole. After all, you fit half of it. Oh, I need one more roll. You move diffused torpedo warheads into the bay. Try not to think about what Enkia used them for. Amber looks better than she ever has before. Bliss has done an incredible job of cleaning up the hole, and despite the exterior changes being limited, she has the impression of being lighter, somehow sleeker than before. Moritz drifts by. He has been loading up the final equipment onto Amber. It turns out Ankita will be taking her weapons, but packed and ready to sell at the first starboard belt port she hits. But now that Moritz is done, he seems in a kind of daze. Floating back and forth aimlessly. You okay, Moritz? What's that? He turns. Oh, right, yeah, packed and stacked. He smiles a weak smile. Was hoping Miss Cassetta would let me keep a warhead. For what? He shrugs. I don't know. Just might be a cool thing to have around. Hey, sleeper, he looks down. Did you know Bliss was leaving? You understand now. She told him. That's why he is like this. Uh, I did. He nods distractedly. She said this place is mine. He looks up around the bay like it is suddenly some vast space he doesn't know what to do with. Can you manage it? He looks down at you, a glazed look on his face. I don't know. I just don't know. A dark look suddenly crosses his face. Hey, sleeper, there was something Bliss said. He meets your eye. Are you going too? Before you can answer, Ankita glides into the bay, a massive crate on her shoulder. Sleeper, you coming or what? Bliss is already on board. She stops by the terminal, holding herself in place. Moritz looks at her with a dazed expression. You look at Ankita. She's keeping it together now. She's pat all of those bad feelings down someplace where you'll never see them, and built a tough foundation on top. She may not be a mercenary anymore, but you imagine most people will think twice before trying to cross her. Well, she looks at you. I'm not eager to spend another moment of my time on this station unless I have to. She pauses, looking between you and Moritz. She sighs. I'll give you a minute. And she kicks off with the crate, taking it to the end of the bay where the amber sits Dot. You look back at Moritz. Definitely not going on that ship. At least on the help Lem and Mina onto the other. I'm staying. Moritz looks like he might pass out. Sleeper? Are you sure? Are you doing this for me? The bay does need me, but I'm doing it for me. I'm staying for me. Moritz nods. All right then, you're staying. He grins. Nikita comes back across the bay, the final crate stowed. You staying then, sleeper? That's right. She nods. Well, okay then. One less mouth to feed. She pauses. Look, sleeper. I'm not going to go back over everything that's happened, she sighs. But I'm trying to put that behind me. But I hope you find what you're looking for here. She smiles and kicks off gliding to the ambergris and the starboard belt beyond. You both watch in silence as Amber's drive fires up. I guess this is our place now, says Moritz, the weight of everything suddenly hit him. I guess so. He smiles. That's cool. You both stay for a while to watch Amber and Bliss and Akita leave, and then Moritz goes to the racks to finally implement a new organizational system, and you head out, promising to be back to check on things soon. As you glide around the soft curve of the hub, you catch glimpses of the distant stars flicking through the windows. They are beautiful, it's true, but by now you think of them as a distraction. In your time in the eye, you've realized there's nothing out there waiting for you. No fresh starts, and no bright futures. Just a whole load of problems you haven't found yet. That's notably what I would do for a stabilizer if I left. No, your place is here, among the people you know and the problems you know. You wish Ankita and Bliss the best of luck out on the belt, but as you do, you focus on the eye, on the vast spinning rim that rotates around its hub, on its buildings and flashing lights, on its people and places. This is your home, and for now, it contains all the features you need. Another ending credit. Seems to do this every time you had an option to leave the eye. Or leave your body. This is not the end, but this is a possible end that could have been. Next turn is yours. Moritz arrives at the table with a couple of steel drink canisters, typical of the Hubzoli bar, the Gimbal Lounge. He sails into the webbing beside the table and clunks down to the midnight table. This place, you have decided, is ridiculous. A rapidly spinning, cavernous sphere, the Gimbal's weak gravity, just like the gravity at the eye's rim, is created by its gut-wrenching rotation, but it's more noticeable in the center. The interior surface of the sphere is the Gimbal's floor, which descends towards the equator where one long bar loops around the entire circumference. Tumbling out from that central ring are an array of booths and seating arrangements, equipped with all kinds of harnesses and webbing to keep customers in place. Those harnesses are there because the gimbal doesn't quite spin up fast enough, and you watch as the clientele bounce towards the bar in lazy arcs or shift from table to table with graceful leaps. "What are you thinking?" asked Moritz, noticing you staring out into the gimbal. "How weird this place is." Moritz glances around, as if for the first time. "Yeah, Bliss never used to like coming here." Moritz takes a drink and stretches. "So, Sleeper, you sticking around?" Not sure." Moritz nods. "No pressure." Moritz rubs the back of his head. "One cycle at a time. That's how we'll take it. Nice and easy. You aren't sure if he's talking to himself or you." "We'll make it." He lifts his drink for a toast. "To the next cycle," he pronounces, and knocks it back. Later, when you finally let the gimbal, Moritz is still laughing. You help him out of the spinning gimbal and back into the hub, same on his way home to the bay. Then you pause for a moment to watch the stars as they spin and spin around the eye. You smile to yourself and think of Bliss and Aikita out there somewhere, among those points of light. To the next cycle. And component repair jobs are available again. Not quite as lucrative as Talva, but it's a way to get scrap, which is no other way except taking a whole action and salvaging it. That's even more dangerous. So here's the sealess ship. If I wanted to try and infiltrate it. Sealess lockdown. If security gets wise to potential breach, the sealess ship will go into lockdown for several cycles. Sealess infiltration. Patrol patterns, secure information, server room locations need to case this place bit by bit. It's engaged to bluff past security. The fastest way to get to know the ship is by pretending to work there. A plan simple might even work. Oh yeah, I can pull it off with good rolls. Help with infiltration. You fail, the ship will go in the lockdown. You can observe and explore. It's intuit action. Careful observation and an instinct for security procedures will help you understand how to sneak on board. That's repeatable. Would have liked to give Lem and Mina a spot on the ambergris. That would have been, I think, safer for them. Doesn't seem that's possible. Days till mushroom harvest. Alright. Well, I gotta do a little self-repair here. And the next cycle round, what I should do is start the Conway thing, because see if that gives me any interesting insights. And then, I don't know if I should try and infiltrate that sealess ship or not. I don't really trust what would happen to Lem and Mina even if I got him on board. Be more than happy to help them make it here on the rim. Share some cryo with them if that was an option. Let's end this cycle since that has to happen, no matter what else. But there's the Conway thing. There's the sealess infiltration. I'm looking for any possible alternative to the sealess. If I can't find one, I may have to do the sealess if I want Lem and Mina to be able to get off here. I think they need it more than my character, who I think can do just fine here. I'm not sure they can. But till next time, we'll see what occurs. I'll have thinking to do. This is Northstar, signing off. Dear viewers, if there are any of you left, now it's been a while since the last video, and I know I talked about some stuff that was maybe stressful or maybe annoying for some of you at the beginning of this commentary. Maybe some of you just want to watch the game, or maybe you love my commentary. I don't know. Leave reactions in the comments if you feel like it. But regardless, dear viewers, if there are any of you here, I wish you all the best. Take care of each other, really. Work together. Make the world better. Help each other survive. Help each other thrive. Be kind to yourselves. And go easy on your failures. Realize you're special and important. And may you always find a guiding star to lead you home. Adieu. And best luck. Till next time.